Hello YouTube, I hope everybody's doing great. Today is Sunday. Most people don't work, but I do. Anyway, these are the beautiful PCBs from JLCPCB. Link in the description. They have coupons going on and you can get up to $60 off on your first purchase. And I wanted to show some close-ups on these PCBs, and especially here on the silk screen. My camera can't even focus, but they are really sharp, and even the smallest ones here, you see how big my nail is, you can read them. So anyway, this is the bare PCB, and this is how it looks like after I put solder paste on it and place the components on there. Especially those side emitting LEDs are tricky, and I will now reflow this, and when I first upload the code and all those neopixels light up, that's the best part, and I will do that also live, and I will put some pictures in here as well. So anyway, this is how it looks like before going in the reflow oven, and I will show you in a bit when it's reflown. I don't even know if that's a word, but after it comes out of the reflow oven. So stay tuned. And while the PCB is heating up, or the oven, I will show you some new ones that I received, and there are some nice colors in here. Again, these were sponsored by JLCPCB. Thank you very much. So this is how it looks like. There was also bubble wrap on the top, and these are PCBs. Should put my keyboard away, and some more stencils, and I have actually more stencils here than I have PCBs, because I have some PCBs that are older, and to save money I had not ordered stencils for them, and then now I just ordered the stencils for those as well, because without stencils it's just so much more work. And let's see what we have here. This time they are packed with silica gel and in paper, which is nice. And these are purple, as you see. I have to keep an eye on the timer, even though I have set it. So, upside down, this is my mini canvas gauge that connects to your OBD port in your car. This is for a Bluetooth module, and these also look just awesome in purple. These also have 2 touch sensors, and I really like those touch sensors because you can just use one chip only, and it's the TTP223, and that's all it is to enable external input to your device with a touch sensor. There's a pad on the top, pad on the bottom, and they do react through a 3D printed case by tapping or touching it on the side. You don't even have to touch it from the front, which you obviously can't. because it has a display on top of it and the back is covered up, and you can still touch it and have an input for your electronics. So let me now put this one, another one. This one is, I think, also purple. This should be my new H.E.D.S.Clock PCB, which now has a Type-C connector instead of a micro USB. And this was also very old, or not old, but a few years before I made these, and it was time to switch them to Type-C connector. So now I have to go back to my reflow oven and see what's going on. So while the PCB is cooling down a bit, let me open up this one. And this is the PCB for my round display, and this is actually the second version I made. Just a second. So this was my first version, and I don't know if you have any code on here. Yeah, it's a dial demo code. I use this one for my altimeter, and I wanted to do something special by having an ESP and an Atmega 328 connected to the same display, and then obviously either or, to use either or. And when using it with the Atmega 328, display works perfectly, but when using it with an ESP32, although the display seems to be working correctly on here, I'm not quite sure which library I'm using here, but the library that I most often use, the TFT ESP library from Botmer, does not work. It gets artifacts on it. So now, to remedy that, since I knew it's working with the 328, I made a version with just the ESP without the 328. So this is the new PCB, and I noticed, even I do make mistakes on the stencils, and if you go back to the video, I did stop on this and looked at it, because I noticed this is the wrong side. This is obviously the back of the PCB, and here I only have a few parts anyway. I have a LED here and a light sensor, which I normally solder by hand anyway, and this is the encoder, and the display I solder by hand as well, and that's the horizontal, the vertical Type-C connector that I put on here. On here I use the vertical and also have the horizontal, so just in case if I want the wire to come out from the side, or if this gonna be mounted into somewhere, then it can come out the back directly. And obviously now that the front is different, I don't know, it's probably my mistake that because sometimes I do, yeah, it was my mistake. And on this one I set on the order to make the front only, because I don't need the back. But when I designed this this way, because I'm looking from the top onto the PCB, and this is the front actually. So by ordering the stencil, the front, I had made a mistake. I would have to specify to be the back. So either I will I have to look how much the original stencil that I have here would fit onto the parts, and I think I did not move many parts around. Yeah, here is the ADXL 345 accelerometer. I don't even know where it is on this one here. It seems like it didn't have any. Anyway, so nobody's perfect, and of course I do make mistakes as well. My fault. Anyway, let's see what the PCB looks like. So here it is, and I use this tray to put in the reflow oven, and the reason is, especially one time I was reflowing the Keypad PCB and holding it with I don't know if it was my tweezer or plier, but I had it like that, and while taking it out it flew away. I dropped it, and ever since I made this tray, and then I put this in here, and then I can just lift it in and out like that. So that's why I'm using this tray. It's also useful if I have smaller PCBs. I can put 2 or 3 of them on here and just reflow them at the same time without having to pick them up one by one. So anyway, put these away. Let's see what we got. I cannot really see through the phone screen, but obviously it all looks little dust. And the main thing is I actually made new footprints for these side emitting LEDs. Made them bigger, and these are the second version of these LEDs, NeoPixels. And we will see, hit my camera, if they all reflowed correctly. And here are this new version. I'm on version 3 by now. It has an additional touch sensor here, and this is the chip that I was talking about. So just one chip and a pad, and you get a touch sensor. Again, to make it sensitive enough, because I'm only touching it from the side, it has the top and the bottom. And yes, so we will see how it turns out. I also did 3D print a new frame that goes over here, and as you might know or seen in the first video, that I'm now using these sockets for the Cherry MX keys, and I made them especially tight fit. So once I stick them in here, you heard it, they sit on there, and these will be soldered by hand as well. And I had the holes a little bit too tight, so the switches actually did not fit in there. So I did just enlarge them a little bit, and now I can just use these switches and just have them put in there. So you can just open the top of it. Take that out, and then you can switch out the keys to your liking, because these are just regular, they don't have any clicking, and you might prefer switches with clicks, so you can just change them out as easy as that. And they also have, of course, NeoPixel backlighting. So anyway, let me get the code ready and upload the code, and then I will be back. So if you made it this far, this is the finished Macro Keypad Pro 3. It looks the same from the front. It does have the new TPU backpacking on the back, again with, of course, silicone feet so it won't slide around, and it has the detachable Cherry MX keys. It has the second touch button, which I did not implement in the code yet. And anyway, if we do plug it in, it boots up. I added the second touch, and this is the first level. And here you can see I did add again the PC monitor. It monitors CPU and system RAM from your PC, and it shows it. And if I do something on the PC, you see it goes up. Just opening a STL file and you see how the percentage goes up. And obviously the NeoPixels volume control, including the mute and the 2 levels. And with this you could add another level or turn the NeoPixels off, or whatever you like. I will think of it something for myself. Haven't decided yet, but I did wanted to show you the finished keypad. If you're interested, leave a comment in the description, below the description of the video, and I will get back to you. And these are also for sale on my Tinder store. Anyway, thanks for watching and take care, everybody.